Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Better Together podcast. I'm your host, Mike Baker. This is going to be a really different episode today, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. I have Shelby and Colton with us. They're the people that help bring this story to you every week. And today we just kind of sit down and have a powerful, fun, human conversation. So we're going to jump right into it. Well, hey guys, this is so cool. We're doing something a little different today. We're going to talk about the power of story. We're going to talk about why we're doing the podcast today, and we should at least introduce you guys as we get rolling here. These people are behind the camera most of the time. So we have Shelby and Colton here with us. Hi, say hi.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey guys. How's everyone today?
Doing great.
Good.
We're the people behind the curtain.
We are,
curtain.
normally.
And they're amazing. We've just been sitting here for a few minutes. Didn't necessarily have a huge script today, but I mean, we're just telling stories, and it's been really fun hearing some of your background. And Shelby's got a deep background. I mean, she's actually acting and doing stuff. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, we all have our day jobs, but I think the things that we do outside of our work, it defines us. We bring that to work with us. So
100%.
Yeah.
Kind of a fun way to get started. So
Yeah, well, my name is Shelby, and I am the Communications and Outreach Assistant here at Heritage Health. Like they've said, I'm normally behind the camera with Colton as we film this, and we get the audio and the lighting and everything. So I've been able to learn from him a ton, which has been amazing.
pretty cool.
And that's been... it's been a really good honor because before this, I knew a little bit about podcasts and I knew a little bit about editing and audio and stuff, but Colton has taught me a ton.
Oh, thank you. I feel like you figured out a ton too. You're one of those people that's just, you can tell you're gonna figure it out. You're not gonna be a quitter. My name's Colton Moreno. I own Moreno Media and then the film studio downtown Coeur d'Alene called Creator Studios. It's just a little film studio. And I remember you walked in. You walked in
cool. It's
and
a beautiful spot.
we got to meet there and started this podcast with you 6-7 months ago. Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, hasn't been that long, has it?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I think so.
We were
7,
kind of get through summer and see how it was going, and we've just fell in love with working with you guys. It's been so great. Like that day we were coming in. Sometimes people think I have crazy ideas when we work here. So
What?
I know exactly.
No.
But that first conversation, it's I know what we want to do here. We want to find a way to connect people in a different way. And I love stories. I love just framing community. And so it was fun to just say, hi, here's what we're trying to do. And instantly you're like, oh yeah, we could totally make that happen. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then, you had some ideas, and I was like, well, I'd love to set it up at our place, and kind of played with the studio. And again, you were just like, yeah, we can totally make that happen. And it's been fun to just kind of have this thing have a home.
Yeah, and
Thanks
in
for
the
supporting it.
iterations, I remember black curtain and
black
just
curtain,
trying to
little
do
couches.
it. Yeah, and you guys turned it into just something epic
It's
in
been
here.
cool.
Yeah.
So
I really hope it stays to be a home. But you work in this, so as you've seen stories, media companies, right? We're helping to move a narrative at some point. We're saying I have this idea, we want to connect with more people, we want to improve life, and we're asking you to help us have a podcast to help do that.
Yeah.
You've seen lots of stories in your life as if people have come to you. How do you see all of that connecting with the end goal of whatever the client's looking for?
Yeah, I think stories, they already exist. That's the coolest thing. Is people are always trying to make a story and formulate something out of nothing. But when you can actually look at life and you actually take time to love people and care about people, you realize really quickly that the stories are all already there. You just have to dig them out of people, you know? And that was like one of the coolest things about just our first couple conversations was it wasn't like I want to start a podcast to be a star. It was like I want to start a podcast to help all these really incredible organizations and companies in town, you know, like give them a spotlight, give them a moment to tell a testimony, give them a moment to tell a story. And I think, yeah, I think it's just really it all boils down to purpose. And it's like everybody has purpose. You wake up every day and you're like, here's this, you have some purpose written on your heart. Yeah. You got purpose written on your heart. And it's like, you just understanding what people value most and then finding a way to bring that to the surface and tell it with super cool shots and in detail, you know. It's like it's so, but yeah, that's kind of how I looked at storytelling. Is it's already there. We just got to uncover it, you know,
pull it out.
Yeah,
you know. And I've always wondered, speaking of purpose, what was the one thing that sparked you to be like, I want this podcast. I want it to look like this. Like, did something happen or?
Yeah. It's funny. Like I've actually tried to do a studio multiple times within the organization. Cause I mean, we're always like, I love when you get a good video that tells a story. I mean, I've been here for 17 years and we've had some really good ones that we played at events and we're all out there and like you play something and people just start to cry and they're connected with it. So it's like, I wanted to have the ability to do that. So, I mean, at one point we bought equipment to do our own training videos and, you know, lots of things. Like I wanted to get good at this. This is the first time where we're like actually able to just kind of bring it all together. So I've been trying to do this for 16 years. Like I've seen what happens when you tell a story. And this one, it's kind of just felt like the stars finally aligned to get us to a spot where it could make sense. And it's been fun. Like it's been really fun to watch it. Like I know a lot of like people are just like, what are you doing, Mike? You know, and I hope people see, you know, the goal right now is to highlight our community partners. That sort of the thing behind that, right? That helps us get a little more exposure, you know, as we work with our community partners. But this community is built on all of those relationships. And the more that we can tell those stories and talk about how we're connected to the people at St. Vincent de Paul, you know, look, we lost my mom to Alzheimer's. We had the Alzheimer's Foundation on. And I mean, that was just incredible conversation. That helps us understand like, oh, we should probably take care of our minds and we need to take care of our community. This all ties back to healthcare. And I hope that, you know, as we do the episodes, people start making that connection. Like we can't do it alone and our community partners can't do it alone. And so if we can like line up and tell the story somehow, I hope that's how you build community. But
yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, I hope that makes sense. And this is your first podcast.
First podcast.
This is pretty cool.
First one ever. Oh my gosh. Very cool, very exciting.
What's your journey? How'd you end up here? You do lots of cool things. So,
I do. What can I say? So, I mean, I was born and raised in Coeur d'Alene, and I knew that I always wanted to be in something creative. Yeah. I don't think I ever was not creative growing up. I was always the kid with ADHD, bouncing off the walls, can't focus, not really good at like the normal subjects. I've like math and English, great, whatever, but I just always thrived in like a creative environment. And so then I found theater, found acting, and I started acting in high school, my freshman year of high school. And I was acting all 4 years until my senior year of high school. Once I graduated, I moved down to California and planned on keep acting. I had this full plan to keep acting and see what I could do down there. But then, of course, COVID happened, and so everything shut down, and we moved back here. And when I was in California, I got into this tangent of like, I just need a job and I just need to keep my head down and not worry about anything. And the dreams of like creativity and everything fell to the side and I fully forgot about them. And then I moved back here, and in October of 2024, I decided to finally start acting classes again and do my first audition. And I did it, and I booked it, and I booked like a small role. And since then, I've been just acting, and I knew that I had the goal of finding a creative job, and this one happened to open up, and I have loved it ever since. I think we are hitting 5 months this month.
That's great.
So big milestone, almost 6 months
cool.
here, and yeah, it's been it's been amazing. I worked at a call center before this and loved that as well. I love helping people, but I wanted to know how I could help them in a creative outlet and show who they are. And like you said, like, how do we get their stories to be shown and to do it with good angles and good audio and stuff.
Well, you're doing such a great job. It's fun watching. Like, I'd say everyone that's participated and helped us in the past, they've done a good job. But it's fun when you can tell that you have a passion for the thing that you do. And just, it comes across in the reels and stuff. I mean, people will have seen by now, you shot a little video of us just talking ahead of time and like having that foresight to go, oh, hey, that'd be a really good shot. But that says a lot, as you do it.
Can I ask an ADD question?
Yeah.
When did you find out you had ADD and ADHD?
I was officially diagnosed probably, I moved back in 21, probably 2021.
Okay. So it wasn't it wasn't like a childhood thing.
No, because, growing up, I didn't know that was an option, to be honest. I didn't know that, like, mental health and other, like, diagnosis could happen. I remember this very distinct, like, memory of being in elementary school, and I had to have a desk separate from the other kids. They were all in, like, a group of desks, and I had to have a separate one, and I had to bring, like, a stuffed animal on my desk to, like, focus on that, because I wouldn't stop talking, and I wouldn't stop just not paying attention. So I always remember that, but when I was little, that was never an option. It was never an option to, like, learn about your brain and be diagnosed with something and get answers and maybe find coping mechanisms after you are diagnosed. Like, I never knew that was a thing. And then, 2021, I was in therapy and just, like, learning about my brain, and my therapist was like, we think maybe possibly. She's like, you don't ever stop thinking.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Well, and I think one of the sad things, right? So boys get diagnosed a lot faster. Yeah. So a lot of times, girls in elementary school stuff, it becomes a different thing. I it's always sad, but one of the sad things is I think it dims people's spark, right? Because you get told that you're broken, you have to sit in the corner. Like, we're in the room, like, we all kind of we sort of land in this space of ADHD. But, I remember, same thing, just growing up, like, just not stopping. You see me when we're filming, like, I'm fidgeting with my thing. We all have our ways to cope, but it's another kind of broken thing inside the healthcare system. I think women have a path that's different, and a lot of times that, hey, you're broken kind of thing knocks people down. It's like, oh, well, maybe I need to change who I am at the core.
100%.
And I think it limits the potential. It's really sad. Like, I hope that's one thing that we actually start to do better, as we look at women's health. Yeah.
It's interesting because it's like, so I got diagnosed, I think, 3rd grade.
Yeah.
And it was definitely needed. Like, I was running off, like, my teacher invited my parents to the classroom and showed my parents, it was like a parent-teacher conference. They showed all the other kids' desks, and then they were like, okay, now we want to show you your son's desk. They opened it up, and it was just chaos in there, Cheetos Puffs, just
a humiliation ritual.
Yeah. And so they're like, oh, we think he has some issues. And so they sent me to, like, this hippy-dippy, super granola place, and they were, like, trying to do it natural, like a natural fix. Because basically what they determined was because I'm left-handed. I eat left-handed. I play hockey left-handed. But then I throw right-handed, and I play, like, a bunch of other sports right-handed. And so it's like they thought I didn't have a dominant side of my brain, and so they started making me go get, like, this is embarrassing. I've never told this story on the camera before. They started making me go get massages on only one half of my body every day.
Oh, interesting.
Whoa.
And then, like, soft pressure.
To, like, stimulate it?
Yeah, soft pressure, deep pressure. Then I'd wear an eye patch over my right eye and go through school and wearing an eye patch just to try to move everything over. And then, this is where it gets crazy. When I would go to school, I had to wear ocular includers, which are these goggles with pinholes, so I didn't have any peripheral vision.
Whoa.
Because they were trying, so the teacher could tell if I was looking at, because I'd just be looking around like a crazy person. it was the funniest thing ever. But yeah, and then they put me on Adderall, and I did Adderall all the way through. I just don't think it's good for you long term. Like I'm not trying to dog anybody. I think it's killer. It helped me focus. I had great grades all through high school, but I just started seeing like mood swings. And my creativity. It felt like it was like. It feels like my ADD now is my superpower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
Where like in the traditional school setting, it's definitely not my superpower. But in the real world, when I got out and I'm having to be creative, think on my toes, and just like be moving quick, now I'm grateful for it, and I don't medicate it at all. But
I think it's so important. I mean, you look at the different roles. Like, our school system is not designed for people that can't, sit there all day long and focus on things. And I think it's been harder as they pulled out the physical education side and different things. Like, it's become just get really good at tests. Like, I suck at taking tests. I mean, it's always been hard for me to dial it in. I did okay in school. I did way better in college than I did in high school because I think it was a different structure. But I mean, I think I always had those tendencies. I was diagnosed in high school, and I started taking Ritalin. And it was interesting because it was hard. I felt different, but there was also a shame factor, like, because my friends knew I was taking it, and they weren't being mean, but it was just like they actually called my superpower Bakerin. They're like, we need to get some Bakerin, because they saw me always just getting stuff done. Like I learned early to kind of harness it and do stuff, but typical of a lot of ADHD, like you start it and then kind of fizzles because you move on to the next thing. And so, kind of building structure. I think it's an interesting mix having that as a CEO. Like, I have to be dialed in and focused very often, right? I mean, that's part of the job.
Yep.
The last few years, I've kind of let creativity open up in my head again, kind of as you guys have talked. Like, sometimes that sort of goes down. And it's been so cool to see the other things that you can do. And like, it's goofy, but, I'm like releasing music and writing books and, just doing all these things. But, learning how to play the guitar is such a killer for me because, like, I want to be here right now. And I'm just like, I just have mastered like the top chords. I can sit there, cowboy chord, and go back and forth. But I want to be better. And like in the past, I would start like learning how to play guitar, and I'd get to that point and just stop because I just can't do it. But like, I've just been pushing through, and so I think it's a fascinating blend in career and work and relationships and family. It's like you have to have people understand it. I'm hoping, like everything, like you move away from the shame side of it. Like, it can be annoying to lots of people, but also, I mean, you look at what you can do. And I think for the world that we're entering with all of the information coming at us, like I'm always running, I have one of my songs, like I always have like 10 tabs open, right? You're doing things all the time. Yeah. And I think there's a way to harness that, but you have to kind of find a way to do it right.
And there's people that can't.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing. Is like there's people that literally like that.
It's overwhelming.
They're like a high C's on the disc profile. You know, they're like their brains aren't like, and I think that they're like, if you looked at a personality test I'm talking about the disc, but it's like my personality type can drive those people absolutely nuts.
100%.
But I just what I love is like knowing my strengths, and like when I took the personality test, plug to Terry Gurno, he's like a local leadership coach,
Terry's great.
Awesome guy. But yeah, he had me take it. It gave me 26 pages. One page was things that I'm how I perceive myself and how what I think of myself. The other, the 25 are how others perceive you. Oh. And it was,
it's tough to read.
It hurts so bad. I just started surrounding myself with all those people. If I was making a new hire for our company, as the CEO of our company, it's like I just surround myself with everything that I'm not, because then it lets me live in my place of like expertise, or the areas where my soul feels filled. Because I'm not I may not ever be the most organized person. I'm not saying that to say you shouldn't try to self-improve.
Excuse,
no,
right?
no
No.
excuses.
It just kind
Yeah.
of is. Yeah.
It's just like,
Yep.
I know that about myself.
Yep.
So if I can surround myself with really organized people, things go pretty good for us, you know?
You really bounce each other out.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's kind of what I've learned as well, is like the more people, like you're saying, that I surround myself with that are, I don't want to say opposite because you know, we need some similarities, but I have this one friend who is to a T, like the most organized person I think I've ever met in my entire life. They could plan an entire trip. They could have an itinerary for everything. Their house is spotless, and like they know exactly where their third birth certificate is that they printed out 7 years ago. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. I will find that when I need it. I think another thing that I really am like learning about my brain, because I'm still learning so much about like ADHD and everything, is I don't like not knowing this thing right now. I'm not going to die. I'm going to be okay. And a lot of times my brain can say like, oh, if you don't find your third birth certificate that you printed out 7 years ago that this person has, and if you don't find it right now, or if you don't finish this project right now, if you don't do these 7 things right now and become perfect at the guitar right now, then like that's it for you.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, actually it's not. I have so much time to learn these things. I have so much time to perfect these things. And if I have to find this document, I'll find it when I need it. But that's a future me problem. I don't need it right now. But that's
I
something.
like the future me problem. That's a
Oh,
good way
yeah.
to say that. Yeah.
It's
It's kind of
future
like
me.
the way people like you build systems around this, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, I mean, for us, I mean, here at Heritage Health, I mean, Alicia Rutherford is probably the most organized person I've ever met. At home, you know, Kelly is the planner, the organizer. Like, she's just incredible at it. And like, you find people that, yeah, again, help balance you out. I always joke, like, we bring the fun, and Kelly brings us back to reality. That's what happens there. But it's interesting to just watch that, like, as you know, she's getting more wise, not old.
Correct.
You know, she's identifying different things too. Like, you know, as you go into perimenopause, there's a lot of women that are actually kind of, I mean, they're being late diagnosed as ADHD, and it's interesting to see, is that because of perimenopause, or was that something that's always been there
Yeah.
that they have learned to master? Because, you know, again, that 2-tier healthcare system for men and women, sometimes it's like they didn't get the treatment, and so they had to cope and build different things. And so, like, it's just this fascinating thing. But I think, you know, again, this is how, you know, as we balance things out, like, this is how this podcast, like, I hope that it's representative. Like, we're tying things together. We're building these strengths between our community partners. And, you know, we're going to talk about all the great things we're doing here at Heritage Health too. And it's like, this is this one package, and it's made up of all these imperfect people that are working in a system that demands perfection that we could never deliver, but we have to deliver.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just this interesting thing. And I think if you can find the humanity, which I hope the podcast does, as you see the people behind the problem, the people that are working behind it, I think it opens doors for us to go, oh, there's something different there, you know? And I think that's what you get from the power of story. It's really cool.
100%. I mean, and why not use our resources to help highlight these other nonprofits in the community? You know, I mean, we've got it, and we are proud of it, and we work with great people. So why not show these other nonprofits and be sure to hear their story as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets me excited because you go back all the way back to like the beginning of time, you know, like they're carving stories into the walls of caves, you know.
Yeah.
They were like, they wanted, it's not always for us. It's rarely for us. Storytelling is for the people that it'll affect down the road. And you never know who is going to find it when they need it, you know? And it's like, it's this opportunity. Like, I was just looking at my son the other day. He's turning 11 here. And I was just like, man, I always thought I'm like building this whole company, you know, doing it all, you know, so that like for me, you know. And I just started like, he's like flying the drone at the parade, and he's doing things and just like helping me out. And I was like,
That's so cool.
He loves
man,
it.
I think this is like the stories that we tell today. You know, you look at Joe Rogan. I think it was like something like 1,000 episodes before it ever popped off for him. You look at Ed Milet, one of the greatest coaches in America. You know, it's like he said he did podcasts for 3 years before he ever got over 100 views. It's like they say 90% of podcasts never make it past the first episode. Just crazy
It's
stuff.
wild, yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like, But then you look at just anything that we do. We're like, hey, let's say in 15 years, you might not be doing the same thing. I might not be doing the same thing. You might probably won't, But then at the same, like, there's a baton that you get to pass off, and then people can reference back to some awesome stories and like see the relationships and see, why is this relationship with the ALS community so strong? It's like, I can go back to this and pinpoint it. And so I just think it's like you put a stamp in time and you're like, hey, I want to remember this. And like it's like a memorial thing almost, where you can always look back and be like remembering something beautiful, or remembering a relationship or a story. I just think it's rad. And so it's not for us. It's like it's for the people coming behind us. And so it just gets me stoked.
No, there's this author. I mean, everyone knows Simon Sinek, but he has a book called The Infinite Game. And I love that book because, I mean, the whole premise is you're building something, like you said, you're building something for that future generation. So you think, like I think of Heritage Health, well, my job is to make sure that it is successful for another 50 years. And, that'd be great if I'm alive in 50 years. I just turned 50. I don't know that I'm going to make it to 100. But as you go through this, it's like the goal is to hand that over. And then everybody that works here is thinking about, like, how does this become this sustaining, self-sustaining thing that is greater than any one of us? We all get a chance to leave our mark on it. Mm-hmm. But like early on, you were talking about, like Lidwin's story. Mm-hmm. And I think of how many times, that story has influenced people to do something different and do something good to serve other people. And it's just like, that's just like, it's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and I can contest to that because before I even saw the job posting for Heritage Health, I unfortunately did not know much about Heritage Health. And then I went onto our website and I saw the Lidwin story, and I think it genuinely brought a tear to my eye. I think I also might have almost cried in orientation when I watched it again, or I watched like a different video about it again. But yeah, 100%. I mean, when was that video made? So like when do the creatives get to come in and bring that story to life? And then that, like I said, I can contest to that, brought me here. And so that's when it really matters, is when something huge like that, we're all able to create it into something beautiful. And then, it's just lasting and lasting and lasting.
Yeah, it inspires people. I mean, you look at Lidwin, the picture I have in my head, I wasn't there, right? But they said she escaped World War II coming out of Holland. So think of the time. So in my head, I have the battle scene from all the movies. Like Lidwin's running down the field, windmills behind her, beautiful tulips. Like, I'm out of here, escaping World War II. Ends up in Canada, does her work. And then, by the way, she's with the Catholic Church. I mean, she's a leader in that space. She's a strong female leader in that space, ends up in Canada, and then ends up in Coeur d'Alene all through the monastery, and then gets here and, is doing her thing. And then she had her friend die. As a young mom, I think she was in her 30s, and she died because she didn't have access to primary care. She had diabetes, wasn't managing it well, didn't go to the doctor because she didn't have money, all of the stuff that we're working on. Yeah. And like that, all of a sudden, she just said, well, this is terrible. We need to do something about it. And she pulled together a group of volunteers and said, we're going to start. And they started Tuesday and Thursday night. And they had volunteer doctors. They were in the basement of just a ratty old clinic. And patients would they'd line up, and the line would kind of go around the building. And this pure love is like, okay, well, we're here. We're going to do our very best. And that thing, it survived for a very long time as a volunteer clinic. And then, like anything, it just kind of got to that next step. It's like, oh, there's this grant. We can become a federally qualified health center. Mm-hmm. And now, we have access every single day. You have paid staff that work there. And that was a huge, transition. They lost 5 CEOs between going from a volunteer clinic to the FQHC because it's a different thing. Like, you do have to run it as a business at some point, and that the goal is to keep the heart in healthcare, but going from a volunteer standpoint, it's a different mindset. It's really hard. I look back sometimes when I tell the story and I say, isn't that so cool that we had Tuesday and Thursday clinics. I also go, we should be really, really embarrassed that was ever okay in our community, that if you didn't have money, the only time you could get healthcare was Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
And if you happened to be patient 26 and we could only see 25 that night, you had to come back, right? So like that's that extra level of like, this was powerful, incredible, awesome. And I think every person in that volunteer space said, we have to do something bigger and better because these people deserve it. Like our community deserves it.
Yeah.
And so that's like they put their blood, sweat, and tears into getting it off the ground, handing it to the next person, and then the next person, and the next one. And so there's a few that happen. And then, you know, when I got here in end of 2009, it was just like, Mike, we just need to build trust in the community and like, let's go, let's do something, but please stay. And, you know, here we are 17 years later and, you know, where we're at, where we have, you know, almost 400 staff. We're taking care of, you know, 25,000 this year. Coeur d'Alene Pediatrics will put us at about 40,000 patients at the end of the year. Center for Healthy Living, you know, just incredible teams. I look at that and go, cool, like that's part of my job to get us to this point. But I look at, you know, what you guys are going to do with it next. I mean, it just blows my mind. Like, I don't even, like, we're going to be just like zapping people with tools and you're healed. And, you know, like Star Trek's going to come to reality. And it's like, this is what we get to do. And this is the why behind everything. Like you just have to believe that tomorrow's going to be better. And then work for it. You can't just be passive. But I don't know. I think it's just such an inspiring story. Like you just hear people react to it, and you're just like, yeah, I know. And then it puts that extra weight on all of us. Like,
100%.
Boy, there's a lot of pressure to get it right, and we haven't gotten it right
yet.
Several times. You know, in the organization, right? We've had some pretty tough times, but you just have to keep fighting. I hope that's what people see. You know, as you go through it. But
one of my favorite things is when someone asks me, what do I do for work? And I get to say, oh, I'm in the marketing department at Heritage Health. And then they say, oh, I haven't heard of Heritage Health. What is that? And then I get to go on this long tangent about everything that we do here. And that is one of my favorite questions to be asked.
Well, I'm not like brown nosing or trying to, no joke. I'm really proud to be rolling with Heritage Health and to be a part of what you guys are doing. It like, everybody has a bad taste in their mouth with healthcare. Like it's not a surprise. You know, I think it's like, you think about the healthcare system, you think about everything, it's like, but this is the most selfless organization I've like, it feels like, you know, you go to some, I'm not going to name any names for the sake of the podcast, but it's like, there's a bunch of places around town you could walk into that you would never get even a chance to talk to the mic of the organization.
Yeah.
You wouldn't need, like they say a good shepherd smells like the sheep and he's hanging out with the people. You're a good shepherd, man. You smell like the sheep.
That one I love.
Yeah, you're like, but the bad ones, they're off in their palace somewhere, you know, out living. That's like, you're actually fighting for a way to improve people's lives in like a really practical ways here in Coeur d'Alene, in this community, in this region. And it's like, and it's, I didn't know. I saw it and I was like, oh, that's like, I think that's like a place where people go get therapy, or like, I just didn't know. But I like, after seeing all the different like facets of healthcare that you guys run through, it's awesome.
Oh, so I think we've talked about it. It's like, it's kind of this best kept secret in the community, but then we don't want it to be the best kept secret. We want people to come. And I mean, again, that's why you have a marketing team. That's why you do a podcast. Like, we're trying to find ways to show up in this space and do it differently, you know? And again, like, I think we have an amazing community. You know, I look at the hearts of people that are out there leading. You know, I think most people wake up and they want to make a difference. I think we have this tool, this vessel here at Heritage Health, where it's like, if you really want to serve and be part of the community, it's just going to look and feel different here. That's not for everybody. And, you know, again, I think we have healthcare partners out there that are really strong. The healthcare system is also designed to fail right now. Like, it's too complicated. It's too rushed. You know, there's all of this happening.
Yeah.
And you see all of that stuff just kind of breaking down. And when that breaks down, that becomes a cancer diagnosis that's missed. That's a mental health disorder that's dismissed. It's the ADHD that people live with shame growing up. And then all of a sudden, you enter a space where people understand it and they support you. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm not broken.
Yeah.
I could harness this into this. Or, okay, if I can just eat a little better, if I can exercise, if I can, take care of my soul, we're going to see healthcare change. And I think that's what we offer at Heritage Health. And it's different in a way that I hope is different enough to bring the right people. But we didn't create it to say, hey, oh, look, we're better over here. This is what humans need. And that's our job to respond to. And I hope that's what people see out of it. But
Yeah.
And I think that not only do we offer that, where it's like a first step to an answer to something that we aren't going to let go missed, but we also offer the resources then after that to help you cope with it. And I think that's what's really cool, is because if I'm diagnosed with ADHD, great. What do I do with that information? Do I go to therapy? If I'm struggling with something for recovery services, great, I would like to get help with this. Where do I go to do that? And so not only do we offer that first step, but then the resources afterwards that we continue to offer. And by showing up in the community and by showing up and telling these stories and offering other resources like ALS and all the other community partners that we've partnered with, it'll never end. Yeah. The support and the healing will never end, because we just keep connecting these blocks to other places and other things.
Yep. Oh, it's powerful. Like this community is always doing something. I mean, this weekend's an interesting example of that. So Saturday we had the Post Falls Parade, and then I was the MC at the Matt's Place Foundation. We're going to have them on at some point. And, they're working, again, focused on ALS, but I saw the best of the community. I mean, everybody in the morning, we're out just cheering and throwing things at people and, doing all this stuff and just having a blast. And then you go and you spend the next 6 hours at the golf tournament playing with people that are there for the reason to raise money, just to help people with a disease that has no cure, no real future at the moment. And it's devastating. And as I was talking to the people at the golf tournament, I'm like, let's just be grateful for today that I get to play golf. I get to move. I was able to sit in the car and wave at people, right? I mean, the people with ALS, there's a time and a place when they don't get to do that anymore. And it's like, we just have to be so grateful for what we have. Yeah.
And that's why telling stories now is so important.
Yep. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Excited to keep telling the story.
Yeah,
it's
me too.
been fun. Yeah.
I feel like we're only in chapter 3. Guys.
I know, exactly.
We got a lot of
100%.
chapters left.
It's going to be very, very cool. But I'm grateful for you guys. Like, thanks for putting in the work. And thanks for believing in us. I think,
Likewise.
it takes someone to go, oh yeah, we can do that. And it felt easy working with you.
Yeah.
And thanks for being here. Like, it's been so much fun getting to know you and just watching your heart come out in the work. And, I think it's Colton was saying, like, we're only in chapter 3, and we might be chapter 10 of the organization, but there's 100 chapters, right? There's a lot more to come, and like, I wish I could do a better job of telling people what I see in my head of where we're going. Like, I try really hard to put it out there in nuggets, but sometimes I'll say it and then it's so big or different that people just are like, but it always works. Like, yeah, we've had a couple hard times, but it's like, that wasn't because the idea was wrong. We had to have the right people to kind of help execute it. Yeah. And I look at the team we have now and where we're at in the community, the support in the community. Like, I tell people all the time, like, this is the best place and the best time for Heritage Health right now. Like, we 100%. Have the people, we have the resources, we have the community support, we have the excitement and enthusiasm. I mean, it's like, let's go. I think our job right now is just to tell the story and not mess it up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tell a story and stay consistent. Yeah, I think that's what I think. I see that trend across the board with media. I think people just get hit, you get died. Like, we have tons of people they'll do 30,000 views on this thing, and then a few weeks go by and it's like, I just got 500 views. I don't even know if this is worth it anymore. And it's like, what are you saying? No, we gotta keep going.
Keep on pushing.
You keep pushing. You keep consistent. Like, stay consistent. And like, I think if you do anything with discipline and consistency, and you run in that direction, you will eventually break through the things that you want to break through, And so, yeah.
I think it's great. Well, you guys have been awesome. When we, last Friday when we were just kind of brainstorming about, what's ahead, I mean, you guys had some really good ideas. So I think people are going to see some different things on the podcast. We're going to try to break it up and do a few things differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very exciting things coming.
Fun. Do you want to talk about those at all?
Comment below if you want to see Mike eat really, really, really hot buffalo wings.
Yeah. We got some challenges coming.
You're going to kill me here. That's right.
The hot ones challenge.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think we should play a card game next time.
Right.
Yeah.
Do all the things. Yeah. Well, it's fun. And again, I think that's, you look at the formatting and you look at how things play out, and look, we want to tell stories, but I want to make sure that everything we do just kind of rolls back to the humanity that we're all trying to support. And hopefully, what we've done so far helps. And I think, as we continue to evolve and get better, this is probably the rawest, unscripted, just chat version of this podcast. It's fun. I hope people enjoy it. We're just gonna keep trying to do things different. So love it.
Me too.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here, guys.